Hey, 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 Fit Mama. Jen Oliver here, your host of the Fit Mama podcast. This is the work in to your workout. Hey, welcome to this episode all about where are the leaks? Where are the energy leaks in your life? Where are you drained every day? And what is draining you? What are these things that are actually draining you? Because sometimes we just keep on keeping on and we don't take a step back and take a bit of an inventory of what are we exactly doing every single day. And last time we talked about really understanding that your awareness and when you're paying attention to what room you're hanging out in makes all the difference to how you feel. If you're hanging out in the room of anger and rage, disappointment and sadness, then you're going to see a lot of that show up. But if you can hang out and pay attention to more gratitude and joy, seeking and looking all around you for things to be grateful for, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And in terms of where you're leaking energy, I'm going to almost certainly, possibly assume, but pretty much know that a lot of your energy leaks are probably coming from spending too much time focusing on things that you don't really want to focus on, worrying about stuff, or just occupying your mind with distraction, right? Distraction is one of these great things that we really love to do as humans, and we've now created technology to make it easier than ever. And your energy leak may be binge watching on Netflix or binge eating on things that you really don't want to be eating, but you're not dealing with emotions or pressures or stresses or things in your life that you don't want to deal with. And escaping and distracting and ignoring is a very, very effective method. It absolutely is. We all do it. I do it. I'm not here to judge. Absolutely not. But I am here to create awareness around this. And by asking you the question, where are your leaks? I really want you to take some time and ponder this. And a really good friend of mine, she's my financial advisor. She's a brilliant woman. And her and I are doing a presentation together called A Kick in the Assets. And we're talking about being financially and physically fit together. So that's pretty fun. And she and I were talking the other day about creating an inventory because, we're really about intentional behavior in the day and getting things done, right? As busy moms, we want to accomplish things in the day, but we don't want to be doing our to-do list day and night. And so what we talked about was creating an inventory and writing down the things in your day that you're doing, and then actually seeing if these are the most productive things that you could be doing, right? So that's super helpful in a business sense and can be really applied into your life in a very simple way. So this is more around your awareness and what you're paying attention to so that you can notice where the things in your daily habits are creating this sense of loss of energy. The energy is just leaking out. Maybe it's that person at work who you just don't get along with and you somehow always get stuck with and it sucks, right? Or you run into them right when you don't want to and it's just that last straw that brings you down to your knees that day. And these are natural occurrences that things happen and we're going to have some shitty times and it's all good. But if that's where you're always hanging out, then it's really gonna suck and you're gonna feel exhausted, tired. You're not gonna feel like getting up and going to work out. You're not gonna be feeling like moving your body or creating new exciting foods and menu plans and changing up things in your diet to feel better. You're not gonna wanna do any of those things if every day leaking energy out of you is happening at a rapid pace. And if you can take an inventory through your day and maybe even just write down, what you're doing and how it's making you feel, right? So I wake up in the morning and I start by making lunches, let's say, for my kids, or I wake up in the morning and I start by vacuuming my house, or I wake up in the morning and I go walk the dog, and then I have my coffee, and then, read the newspaper or whatever. I mean, does anybody read the newspaper anymore? I don't know, but I'm trying to think of experiences you could be having. But imagine yourself as you go through your day, and maybe you're just going through the motions, as we often do, and you're drinking a coffee that you pick up at the Starbucks, and you only are doing it because you did it yesterday and you're probably going to do it again tomorrow, and that's just what you do. But you aren't really realizing that taking that time to drive there and order that drink, the energy that is leaking out of you in terms of money spending every day, in terms of not feeling fulfilled or energized from it and just having a crash a couple hours later, these are your energy leaks. And if we aren't becoming aware of the daily occurrences that are happening and causing our energy leaks, then we're not going to be able to do anything about it. And just like in our business, in my business, I can be spending hours doing non-productive things, or things that someone else I could pay to do, and they would be much better at it than me. We all have our genius, right? And when it comes to my business, I really focus my time in genius mode. Stuff only I can do. Someone else can edit this podcast. I have a great audio engineer. His name is Joseph, and he is my bestie because he helps me get these out to you. But I hired him because if I was going to sit at my computer and do GarageBand and add things in and type things out and move things around and upload things and splice things and move all the monitors and stuff, I would be so done energy-wise. I'd be napping for 6 hours a day because that does not fill me up. But Joseph does this for a living, and it clearly is his passion. So I'm ready to pay it forward and allow him to do his job. So where are you leaking energy in your life? Are there things that someone else could be doing that you despise and you've just told yourself, I have to do it? Who else is going to do it? I have no one else to do it. But that's just a story you're telling yourself, because I bet you can find another way. Where there's a will, there is a way. And if you can become aware by creating an inventory that, you're driving the kids to school. Well, hey, what if you could walk them to school instead? Then you would get your morning exercise, you would be out in nature, you would be doing all these things that are energy giving rather than energy depleting, like stuck in traffic and road raged people and worrying about all the other things on your to-do list, right? My favorite thing in the world myself is holding hands with my girls and walking to and from school. And it is absolutely just one of those energy-giving times in my day. And I love it because I get to do it in the morning and I get to do it at night. And when it's really raining hard or it's snowy and icy and freezing cold as it gets here in Canada sometimes, I don't walk them. I drive them. And I still pick them up from school at the end of the day and hold their hand to walk to the car. And I can feel that I miss that I don't get to hold them and hold their hand and just watch them walk and tell me stories about their day. It leaks energy. Driving them to school and back is an energy leak. And you wouldn't think it is, right? You wouldn't think it is. You'd think, oh, that's something quick I can do, and I get back in 5 minutes and keep doing my work and I'll be energized. But always working does not make an energized person. Right? Having a nice harmony with all the things that are going on in your life is what's going to make you feel fulfilled. And it's super duper important to create that understanding for yourself where you're doing these things every single day that are leaking energy from you. Now, there's the flip side of this, that is that there are going to be things that you have to do, that you don't want to do, but you have to do them. So I'll give you examples from my own life. Things that I have to do but I don't love doing would be cleaning the dishes, let's say. Okay, that's one of the big ones is like, I love cooking. And after I cook or I, make a meal and prep all this stuff, there's a pile of dishes and pots and pans and all the rest. And that is the last thing on the list that I want to get to. So thankfully, my husband takes over the cleaning for the most part. So my husband also travels a lot though. So he's super fabulous in that area when he's here. But when he's not, it's one of those things where it's like, you just got to do it, Jen. So I just do it. But that being said, I don't just do it and then the whole time sit there or stand there or move there thinking, oh, I'm so annoyed by this. This is so frustrating. I hate cleaning. Why do I have to do all this work? Why is my husband not here? Oh, I'm not supported, and going on these diatribes of stories that are all lies and nonsense. This is where the podcast comes in. I listen to podcasts like a champ, and podcasts are one of those things where I love learning. I love getting connected with new ideas. It stimulates my own thinking and new thoughts for new things, and it opens and expands me, and it's energy giving. So why do I only have to listen to podcasts when I'm out on a walk or at the gym or driving or whatever? I don't. I can listen to them anytime. And actually, it's so relaxing to put your headphones on and just do the job, right? Oh, I have to scrub the floor. Okay, put the headphones on and just do the job. Be entertained and be educating yourself and inspiring yourself in whatever way you can during that time. Maybe you're doing a 5-minute task of cleaning the toilet. Okay, really, it only probably takes about 5 minutes. But do you really want to do it? No. Are you going to try and find someone else to do it? Yes, probably. But if you got to do it, and we all got to do it at some point, just make it fun. Don't make it an energy leak. It doesn't have to be, because it's actually not the task itself that is an energy leak, right? Taking my kids to school. That could be an energy leak because I have to get to my work, or I wanted to get to the gym. So it's like, oh, I have to get the kids to school. Why can't someone else drive them to school? Or I could flip the script and say, this is an honor and a privilege to take my kids to school every day. This is a gift. This is absolutely beautiful. And so for those moments, maybe the 15 minutes driving back and forth or walking back and forth, in my case, it's a 15-minute walk approximately, that is a happy time, right? And not just because it's with my kids, right? Washing dishes now for me is a happy time. Cleaning for me is a happy time because I've found a way to make it happy. And whether it's distracting myself through a podcast or flipping on a show in the background while I'm doing it, or having my kids help me, and even though it makes it a bit messier, it makes it more fun, we're going back to the gratitude. That is the other option. If you're not going to distract yourself and do something that you love along with the thing that you don't love so much, for me it's podcasts and washing dishes, I spend time in gratitude during that time. So while I'm washing dishes, I will use those 2 favorite words of mine, thank you, and I will just spend 10, 15 minutes in my head or even out loud saying all the things that I am grateful for. And we do this every night before we go to bed with the girls. We do our thank yous, and we do our what we call prayers, which is thank you, God, for our day. Thank you for the sun. Thank you for, my 5-year-old. She's so cute. Her almost very consistent, if not every night, prayer is thank you, God, for the beautiful belly. Amen. Which is hilarious because what is she thanking for? She thanks God for my belly. My belly. Yeah, every day. She thanks God for my belly, which is hilarious because she loves my belly. She loves kissing it. She loves playing with it. She loves touching it. And it's one of the most confronting things ever because it's like she loves it when it's pudgy. So she's like, roll over, make rolls. Let me poke it. Let me squeeze it. Let me kiss it, right? And it's the whole time I'm kind of like, this is actually so uncomfortable. until I flip that script and I'm in such gratitude that she's loving on me. And she calls my belly her old hotel. She goes, I want to go back to my old hotel, right? My 5-year-old really could just like crawl back up in the womb some days, most days, depending on the day. So she's so funny in that way. But she misses her old home. She's, we talk about it. Oh, you used to live here in my belly. You hung out there. I used to carry you everywhere. And she still wants to be a baby in many ways. And she's such a snuggle muffin. But what can you be thankful for? And instead of something bothering you or being irritating and being that energy leak in your life, just flip the script. You don't have to change the task. You just have to change the approach to the task. You have to change the you that's doing the task. It's not the task, it's you. Yes, sit with that for a minute. It's your responsibility to not leak energy when you have to do things you don't want to do. Oh, begrudgingly, I have to do this all over again. And then it's like literally you can feel your energy sinking to the ground to the point where you want to melt into it or go crawl in your bed for a week. Energy leaks begin in your mind. Energy leaks begin in your head. They begin with that self-talk that you repeat over and over and over, saying, I'm not good enough. I don't have enough. I'm in lack. I'm in scarcity. Things are hard. Everything's harder for me. I'll never look good. I'll never look like I want. I'll never feel as I want. And stuck over and over, leaking energy out of yourself. Don't do it, FitMama. Don't do that to yourself. You don't deserve it. You don't deserve it. So rather than keep it on, going through the motions, being reactive day in and day out, you can do something beautiful like grab a journal. Start dumping all these negative feelings that you have and these emotions that surround these feelings that are based upon stories that you tell yourself. Write them down. Get them out. Let them go. Let them go. I was just at a conference recently called the Archangel Summit, which was amazing. And I was talking about it on a previous podcast. And one of the speakers there is a gentleman called Dave Asprey. And Dave Asprey, if you haven't heard of him yet, is the founder and creator of Bulletproof Coffee and the whole bulletproof movement. And it's pretty interesting. He's really interesting. And he was talking in his talk, of course, which is related to health and wellness. He delved right into the practice that has helped him most over and above diet and exercise and his stem cell replacements and all the rest of the cool stuff he does. His forgiveness practice. Yes, forgiveness. Forgiveness. And he said something I love so much. It's not about forgiving that other person for them, of course. It's not about them. They don't even know you forgive them, maybe, right? It's not the point. And if you're holding a grudge or you're frustrated and you're like, oh, I can't stand that person anymore because they did this, whether it was today, yesterday, 6 months ago, 6 years ago, 6 decades ago, it doesn't matter. It's going to be an energy leak. If you're holding a grudge, if you're frustrated at the way you were treated or whatever the case is. And what he said about forgiveness was just that it's not about you forgiving that other person. It's not even just about you letting go of caring anymore, but it's about letting go of carrying their baggage anymore, right? That baggage that you created together, whatever that was, right? And it brought me to a thought about my own mom, who I love, of course. I absolutely love my mom. And she's such a great teacher for me in so many ways. And one of the things that she's the greatest teacher of, and I talk about this in my TEDx talk, How to Love Yourself to the Core, is that she wasn't one who always loves herself to the core. To this day, or in the past, she has a lot of limiting beliefs about herself, that she's not good enough, that she's not capable enough. And for her, being her daughter, and to watch someone so beautiful, so brilliant, so energetic, so vibrant, so capable, so everything I ever imagined, she doesn't see it. And that is her energy leak. And for me, I was forgiving. His talk made me realize that I needed to forgive myself, because it's not about forgiving them. And that's what he was saying. And I don't know if I'm getting this out right because I don't remember his exact wording, but it's not about forgiving them. Like, I don't need to forgive my mom for the fact that she doubts herself, or that she thinks she's not capable enough, or that she's worried about being judged, or whatever those things are that she's is. I don't need to forgive her for those things, because that's not my job. That has nothing to do with me. But what I am going to forgive myself, and this is something that I've definitely worked on over the last probably at least 5 years, is forgiving myself for taking on her baggage, right? Forgiving myself, because I'm the one who was frustrated, or who was sad for her, or wanted more for her. And that it was eroding me, and it was my energy leak. And so when we'd have a conversation and I would say, oh my God, that beautiful picture that you sent me. My mom's a photographer. She sent me a beautiful picture. I said, that picture is beautiful. What are you going to do with it, right? Where's it going to be seen? Are you going to print it? Are you going to put it up? Are you going to sell it to someone? Are you put it in a gallery? What are you going to do? Because it's beautiful. And that's what she's verbalized that she wants, is to share it, spread it, sell it, whatever it is that she wants. And then her limiting beliefs come in. Oh, who would buy this? Oh, where would I put it? Oh, how would I do that? I have to create a website, and and goes on and on about a diatribe of why it won't work. To me, that's uber energy leak. It's like I'm talking on the phone going, oh my gosh, all this is standing in your way? If you just went for it, you'd kill it, right? And I need to, and I am in those moments, forgiving myself for pushing, or for saying, come on, you can do it, or for being annoyed as F because I don't want to hear this anymore, because I know you're better than this. Just stop it and just go for it and believe in yourself. And it's the forgiveness towards myself when I say, let it go. It's her journey. It isn't mine. That I get to just take a big deep breath, let it out, and give myself the gift of forgiveness. That I don't have to take on anyone else's baggage or worries or problems. Can I be there to be a support? Can I be there to love unconditionally, fully? Can I be there as a neutral observer? Can I be there as a support and just offering love? Not if I'm in the anger mode, or the annoyed mode, or the, hey, why the hell are you still talking about this mode? But if I can let go and forgive myself for wanting to help her so bad, when it's her journey. It's her journey, right? It's your kid's journey. You can't make them into something they're not. It's their journey. It's your spouse's journey. It's not your job to change him. You didn't marry him or her to change them. Love them just the way you can love you for just who you are now. Not needing to change. Not needing to do anything differently. Not needing to wish things were different. Just be grateful and allow yourself to live in that space of forgiveness, of letting go of other people's baggage. You know, I write about this in my book, and I was actually asked about it on a podcast interview I was on a few months back. My grandfather, love him, rest in peace, he passed away about 6 years ago. He was such a loving, loving man. Absolutely so loving to the core of him. But he took on the responsibility of my grandmother, who is still alive and well, surprisingly, because she has been an alcoholic for most of her life. And a very high functioning one. She held a job. She worked in a factory, a jewelry factory, for many, many years after she came to Canada with my mom and my grandfather. But my grandfather took on, like it was his responsibility, to cover up that she was an alcoholic. I mean, we didn't know growing up. We knew they drank and have a few glasses of wine or whatever, but I didn't realize, till I was older that there was really something going on here. And it wasn't until he was on his deathbed and my grandfather contracted stomach cancer, literally out of the blue. I'll never forget when he told me about it. It was December or early January. I remember it was right around Christmas, and he was so casual in telling me this over the phone. And I have goosebumps right now, and I'm probably going to cry just thinking about this. He was like, he said it in Slovak. So he speaks Slovak. So he said he had cancer in Slovak. And I, of course, had no idea what that was because we never talked about cancer in Slovak before. We talked about, hey, and ahoy is Slovak, hi. So we used to talk in the basic words in Slovak. But he was so casual in telling me this because he was sure he was going to beat it. And I was sure he was going to beat it. So it was like, great, let's do what we need to do and all the rest. And it didn't go as well as any of us had hoped. And he was in the hospital on his deathbed within about 5 months from that time. And I remember sitting with him in his hospital room like it was yesterday, and him angry and frustrated and questioning whether he had done the right thing by staying with my grandmother all these years. And he had mentioned it even about a month before that when he was still at home. And I remember visiting him at home and him even talking more about this. He was feeling regret. He was lying on his deathbed feeling regret that he had taken on the burden of my grandmother's disease because he wanted to protect her, because he loved her, because he wasn't going to leave her. But he was taking it on. It wasn't he was just with her and supporting her and helping her in any way he could and loving her until death do they part, which is honorable beyond. But he was taking it on. And I remember he was a very angry man often. And it was often when he was driving. And he was driving with my grandmother, and often she had been drinking and gone down to the basement in the morning and had shots of stuff. And, I didn't know this sitting in the back of the car, but I know now that this anger within him wasn't about the cars driving around and his road rage. It was that he knew in the depth of his body that this wasn't his problem to fix. It wasn't his problem to take on, but he wanted so bad for her to stop drinking or not be an alcoholic and not have these desires. But he didn't know what to do. So what will you do? What can you do, FitMama, differently? What energy leaks are happening in your life? Whose baggage are you taking on that's weighing you down and causing you to feel like you need to lose weight? Because you probably will easily have no problem losing weight when you aren't carrying everyone else's weight on your shoulders, everyone else's burdens. And if you're anything like me, FitMama, which if you're listening to this, you probably are, you naturally take on other people's things. Naturally. When someone comes to you and they feel something or feel a certain way and they need your help, you feel it in your body, in your heart, and you want to genuinely help them. But sometimes you just can't. It's their journey. So where are your energy leaks? I know mine are emotional, 100%. Your energy leak might be that you are eating things that absolutely strip your body from energy, right? If you're not eating foods that are vibrant and adding to your energy, you're depleting. And maybe the things that you've been eating are just not the things that are helping you energize So looking into a new paradigm where you're not taking on other people's stuff, or you're not eating reactively to whatever's available. Oh, there's donuts at work this morning, I'm just going to eat them. Just eating them has consequences. And it's not about the guilt. It's not about feeling bad. It's about going through those motions and just doing things and not realizing where they're stripping you of your life's vibrant energy, FitMama. I know how good you can feel. And if you aren't feeling good, and if you aren't meeting the expectations of yourself that you so deeply desire, it is imperative that you start to identify where these leaks are coming from. So start that inventory. Start to write down what you're doing in your day, how you're feeling during it, and then what can you do differently? Outsource it, delegate it, get a headset, turn on the TV, do something else, talk to your mom or friend or whomever on the phone while you're doing something. Make it fun. Make it energizing. Oh, I have to exercise. No, you get to exercise. And how can you make it really fun? I joined a gymnastics class recently, and I go on Monday nights. I joined a basketball league. I play Sundays when I'm in town. I go to tennis lessons on Thursday night when I'm in town. And I love it because I'm playing. And yeah, I'm sweating it up, but I am in play mode. That is energizing. Instead of the old, drudgery, I have to do this again. And then all the stories of my life is so hard and rough and nothing's ever going to work. And and this low vibration energy. When you have the power, FitMama, to make energy your gift, to inject every experience with loving, powerful energy. It's possible. I know it is. I know it is. So take an inventory, how you're feeling while you're doing things in the day, and then create an action plan for actually doing it. That's all from me today, FitMama. Identify those energy leaks and see the change that it makes in your life. Have a great day, FitMama. Namaste.